Hello, I'm Greg Raleigh, and welcome to the show. If you missed earlier episodes of our show, we demonstrated by having professional doctors onto the show. We had health cooking experts on the show. We had many people who benefited from the Food for Fuel program that I created. And so we had so much feedback, and the volume was so high, I decided we were going to continue with that process as of today. So on this show, once again, we'll have success stories. We will have people, health cooking experts. We have a young lady that's going to talk to us about how to develop a vegan diet, if that's a choice you would like to be interested in becoming. So what we're going to do on this show is continue this process, and we're going to do something different today. What I wanted to do today as a personal trainer and nutritionist is talk to you about some of the common trips that people experience when they're trying to regain their health. One thing is reading labels. It's a very confusing thing. Part of it is because of the science that's on the back of the labels and that you don't understand, and I don't understand a lot of it, partly because the food companies hide the true value of their ingredients. So what we're going to do is talk about, for example, carbohydrates. Now, carbohydrates fuel your muscles. Everybody needs to understand that. The problem we have is that people mix up good carbs with bad carbs. And that's what gets people in trouble when trying to improve their meal plan. For example, a good carb is brown rice. A good carb is a baked potato. A bad carb is French fries. Bad carb or potato chips. A bad carb are pastries, donuts, cookies. These things, if you learn how to separate the two, and if you stay on this show and reach out to me at some point, I have a long list of good carbs and bad carbs. Also, you need to learn how to eat your carbs. Most people eat carbs all day and all night. If your carbohydrates are the food that supplies energy to the muscles, then you need those carbs at the time that you're really active. So you don't need to have carbs at dinner time per se. You're about to go to bed. Why you need to eat more carbs? You're not going to be able to get any sleep. But you need to eat your carbs at breakfast and lunchtime so you have the whole day of activity that those muscles are going to need. You may be going to the gym. You may be going running. You may be doing biking. But these things are the times where you need to load up on your carbs in order to burn during that exercise, and they won't put any additional weight on you. One of the problems people have with carbohydrates is that they eat them at dinner time. This disrupts your sleep at nighttime. So we often hear from people, they get up in the morning, and kids, especially kids at a high school level, they get up and they're still tired and they're still sleepy, and they can't understand why they didn't get a good night rest. Lots of times I will tell those kids or tell parents, look at the carbs that you're giving your kids and take that out of dinner. Leave it at breakfast and lunch, but take it out of dinner. So that's one important thing that you need to understand about carbs. Now, bad carbs, as I said, it's amazing how many people don't know the difference between a healthy carb and a bad carb. But bagels, if you toast it, that will help make that bad carb into a healthy carb. Of course, if you take it and you put butter on it, like I hear people in jelly, then you just ruined it once again. But, you know, the bad carbs, the donuts, the French fries. I had a young man one time who told me that potato chips, he thought that was a good carb because it was potatoes. No, that's not a good carb, okay? So let's stick with the baked potatoes, okay? Let's stick with that. Things like that. So this is what we want to talk about when it comes to carbohydrates. Also, you need to understand that, like I said, eat your carbohydrates before you exercise, about an hour before you exercise. Do not eat your carbohydrates at dinner time. Take that out of your dinner. That will help you with your weight loss. That would also help you with your sleep. So these are examples of what we're talking about when it comes to carbohydrates. So what we want to do now is look at the list I'm going to give you, because it's going to be on the website. It's going to be on a TV show. We've got a guest that's coming in today, and she's going to talk about carbohydrates, good and bad, how to pick them, how to prepare them. This is why this show is so important to you. It gives you information that you're going to be able to take home and apply today. That's what we were trying to do here. This simplifies everything so that when you even call in or you email and ask us, Greg, what was on that show? What were the ingredients of that food? We will be able to provide that to you very quickly. We want to hear from you. That's what we said. We've got people on this show who've already benefited from what we talked about in the earlier shows. You will hear from those guests. It's amazing the success stories that have occurred just in the past 2 months that this show has been airing. But that's what this is all about. So once again, I want to introduce myself. I'm Greg Raleigh. I'm glad you came back for this show and many other shows, and I think you're going to enjoy the guests that we have on today. And so welcome to the show. Like I said, it's called It's Your Turn, because this is not about me. I'm here to help you regain control of your health. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Up, college is hard. Down, those books are heavy.
My sport is football, but my passion is education. So every year I take promising high schoolers on a college tour to show them that higher education means a brighter future. My name is Nnamdi Asamoah. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
You can be a reader, tutor, or mentor too. Take the pledge at liveunited.org/volunteer.
Do you wear this?
Hart, what's going on?
I'm leaving.
Why? What did I do?
Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit.
Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just please, don't leave.
Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Welcome back. I'm Greg Raleigh. What's a fitness show, nutrition show, without success stories? As I've told you before, we've helped many people of all cultures, all ages, all races in trying to take back their health. So today we want to continue that process. So I want to introduce to you my friend Naveen. Naveen, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
It's good to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Naveen's with the University Club. And so Naveen, a couple of months ago, came to me and he decided he wanted to improve his health. So Naveen, let's talk about that. Walk me through that when we were back in March.
Yes, it's on March.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Then because I was gaining weight.
Yeah.
And I was feeling very uncomfortable, and I couldn't sleep.
Okay.
And so I thought, and I was mainly I was getting ankle pain and all. So I was thinking, okay, this is what. So that's why I was like, hey, Greg, just help me out.
And so we sat down and we went over your family history.
Right.
And we put together a food choice plan,
Right.
which, as I told you before, we don't focus on calories as much. We focus on making the right choices of food to support your lifestyle. So how did that go?
That was so good. I mean, I was following that, and basically because with my doctor also, she said to me that I'm pre-diabetic also. So I mean, with the plan that I got from you, it helps me a lot, and I lost like 30 pounds, and I just keep going it.
30 pounds is incredible, people. I told you, try this plan, watch this show, and you too will be able to take back your health. Now, what were some of the foods that you used to eat? I love asking people that.
Oh, well, all the food that you know, the burgers and pastas and cheese and, you know, all these junk
Do you miss
food.
it?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, not really, because when I think about now the situation I'm in, because I can sleep well and I don't have any ankle pain or nothing. It just went away like that.
Now, what were some of the foods that you mentioned earlier about sodas? So did you stop?
Yes, I completely stopped, and thank you, Ral. And now I'm drinking iced tea.
Right, drinking iced tea. You're drinking lots more water.
Yes.
Now, interesting enough, your girlfriend, Catherine, she couldn't be with us today, but she decided to do the same thing with you together.
Yes.
And how is she doing?
She's doing incredible, and she actually lost like 40 pounds, and she's like strictly following that strictly.
Yeah, I wish she could be here, but we wanted to give a shout out to Catherine and say, you know, keep your head up and keep eating healthy. But that's great that you guys kind of support each other and, you know, share. You buy the foods together, you go to the grocery store, you read the labels together,
Right.
all these things. So,
Yes.
For example, were you skipping meals a lot?
No.
But you were just eating large portions?
Yes. Yeah. It's like big portions.
What was a big portion, like the whole plate of pasta?
Yeah. Whole plate. I can go for a second round also.
So I know that you told me that when you first started, your workload was your work schedule was so hectic. You
Right.
often skip meals because of it.
Right.
And so now you've learned how to balance.
Yes, because normally now I bring my own food,
Okay.
you know, oranges or, you know, all the fruits I can, and some vegetables. So every time I'm just eating some. So I don't skip my meals now.
Okay, so now you said your doctors told you were pre-diabetic. So
Right.
have you went back to the doctors in the past month or so, and have you had an update? Has things changed, improved?
Yes, it's like I'm getting back to normal. So because I'm a big fan of chocolate, I
Oh.
stopped eating chocolate and no sodas, and I really watch the sweet things. What I'm, you know.
I miss
taking.
fried chicken. I miss fried chicken real bad. They used to call me Chicken Man in college. So I know how you feel, but you like the fact that the weight's come down. Like you said, the ankles gotten better. And you know what's funny? You got your sheet. You still have you bought your sheet
Yes,
with you?
yes,
See?
I do have it
You
here.
have your
It's-
sheet.
it's-
See, this is the lead. This is what we need.
Right,
But
right.
that's what you follow, and you're very happy with it.
Yes, yes, I follow that because before I mean, without doing this plan, I couldn't run, and you know, it was because I knew something with weight. So first I start this thing, then eventually I lost weight, then
Yeah.
I was able to run because first I started to run because okay, let's do exercise.
Okay.
I used to play rugby.
Okay.
So let's do, you know, just rounds and all. Then I couldn't do it. So but after doing this, then I was able to do more exercise.
And so that's the benefit of being on this program, is that you have opportunity to take back your health with simple solutions by coming to me and just sharing with me what you're going through. I'm the expert. I can help you find your way through this. So Naveen, I want to thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank
I know
you.
it was
I
real.
appreciate that.
It was good to have you on the show. We'll be right back. Thank you.
It's harder whenever there's a bigger group. Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
Welcome back. I'm Greg Raleigh. As I said on the show, we will continue to bring experts in to give you information that you can use immediately to take back control of your health. Now, in our previous shows, we had a young lady on here who made some great cooking meals that were amazing. I mean, I took them home and I ate them in the studio. They loved it. So, once again, I've asked Helen Beard to come back. Helen, how are you?
Hi, Greg.
It is so nice to see you
Great to be here.
on this lovely Saturday. So, Helen has decided that she's going to give us some new information about mashed potatoes, how to make unhealthy mashed potatoes healthy, which we call cauliflower potato.
Power.
Cauliflower power.
It's the power.
I love this. So what we're going to do, Helen, tell us about the benefit of cauliflower, the ingredients. She's going to talk about the ingredients, and then she's going to talk about the benefit and the economic benefit. So thank you once again, Helen.
I'm so glad to be here, Greg. So last time we had a word of the day, cruciferous.
Cruciferous.
Cruciferous. It's that big body
I know.
of vegetables that include, of course, the cauliflower,
Yeah.
but also, if you can imagine, this came from a cabbage, not kale. But
Oh,
kale's
okay.
also in the family.
All right.
Collards is in the family. Brussels sprouts and cabbage.
Okay.
And what of all these things have in common is that they are packed with things like antioxidants and anti-inflammatories that really do the body a world of good.
I know.
In addition, they're packed with nutrients including vitamins K, vitamins B, niacin, riboflavin.
That's everything.
It's a whole lot of everything
All
that's
right.
really good for you.
Okay.
And And I tried kind of scouring the local supermarkets,
Okay.
and I found that just one head of cauliflower is anywhere from $2 to $3, and they would provide 4 servings of vegetables.
Economics.
You're talking 50 cents a serving. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good in a tight economy these days.
Not only a tight economy, when everyone is scrambling for the soccer game and the late night meeting and PTA, and we've got to do all that we've got to do and still eat well, isn't it a godsend to know that this awesome recipe that I brought today can be done in 10 minutes and only has 5 ingredients? Super simple.
Super simple. That's what we're doing here on this show. Finding simple things, simple solutions that you can apply immediately. So let's talk about the ingredients you have here. It looks interesting.
Okay. Well, it's a real basic turn on an old-fashioned recipe of mashed potatoes.
Okay.
Now, the challenge here is when we look at the glycemic index for most people, that's pretty important, particularly if you're diabetic or you're insulin resistant. So we're talking about the comparison. Let's just do it real quickly. If you look at cauliflower versus potatoes,
Right.
cauliflower in a 1 cup serving will only have 45 calories compared to 115 calories for potatoes.
People don't know that.
They don't know that. Carbs. Everyone's counting carbs these days, whether it's the new Atkins, the old Atkins, or just trying to watch your carbohydrate intake. Wouldn't it be great to know that potatoes have 25 or 26 grams of carbohydrates? 1 serving of cauliflower only has 6.
Amazing.
That's a big difference.
This is what we need to learn. We need to
Okay.
teach ourselves this stuff.
Well, let's just jump in and
Okay,
talk
go
about
ahead.
the ingredients. So you take an average head of cauliflower.
Okay.
It looks just like this when you get it in the package.
All
I actually used half of it, and I wanted to bring it so that the audience could see that these are just little bits that literally coat and cover a nice head of cauliflower. The advantage of this is you don't want to throw this away. This is the makings of your vegetable stock. So in another segment, if you ask me back, I'll show you how to make that awesome hearty vegetable soup using the bits here.
We will
so we
do
just
that.
cut that in half. And most people say, well, I thought it came in little florets.
Right.
You just peel them off.
Okay.
And so you'll want to take this and you can use your hand to pull it off, or you can just use a knife. In less than a cup of water, you steam it for about 5 to 10 minutes as long as it's fork tender.
Okay.
Then once that happens, you're adding a couple of teaspoons, or actually tablespoons of olive oil,
Okay.
a shaker or 2 of the salt. We talked about this in a previous
Yes, we
show.
did.
Himalayan sea salt. It's got great minerals. It's got a little bit different taste than average table salt. But if you're really ready to take it to the next level in terms of lowering your sodium, you use something called liquid aminos. It looks sort of like soy sauce, but it actually has 1/5 the sodium as regular salt or any other salt, specialty salt like Himalayan sea salt. A lot of folks are in a pinch. They don't want to have to use the grinder or the garlic press.
Okay.
So you can use fresh garlic or you can use crushed garlic.
Okay.
And that's it.
Great.
You stir that up with a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. It's softened and it is so delicious. Now I know that you're a little lactose intolerant. There's a lot of, I know I am. But if you're not, you'll enjoy taking a little bit of the Parmesan and sprinkling over there. I'm not doing that for you because I want you to enjoy it. But for the vegans, those who are lactose intolerant, we suggest using, it's called yeast.
Okay.
Nutritional yeast. Nutritional yeast has a cheesy, salty, almost nutty flavor, and you sprinkle that on just like you would with some Parmesan, and it's going to be delicious. So with that said, I'd like you to try it. There you go.
Oh my goodness. See, this is what we're talking about. Stuff you can do right now, tonight, today, when you watch this TV show. And you ain't going to find this on any other network. So I'm going to try this. Oh, delicious. That's great, Helen. I'm going to have to take that from you.
That's okay.
If the studio don't beat me to it.
That's okay.
So, as I said, we want to look at the ingredients. You want to be able to find simple solutions. And so you don't want to give away something you traditionally eat, but you want to learn how to make it better. Okay? And that's what we're doing on this show, is expanding our options in terms of ingredients. So, Helen, once again, it's been enlightening and delightening. And it's been wonderful. And I appreciate it. And I do look forward to you coming back because
love to.
the fans love you. The viewers, they love you. They love you. The emails are great. So we want to continue this process. So you'll find some time to fit us into your hectic schedule again?
Amen, I will.
Okay, well, thank you once again, Helen Beard, and we'll be back.
You wouldn't let money just blow out of your house. So when your AC or heater is on, make sure the doors, windows, and fireplace flue are shut tight. If you're headed out, turn down the AC or lower the heat by 10 degrees. And always keep your water heater set at 120. A little bit of common sense goes a long way. Get more great tips at energysaver.gov.
Welcome back. As I said on this show, I will be introducing you to many people in the community who I think don't get their recognition for the success they've done in working with people improving their health. And so what I decided to do, I was blessed recently by being introduced to our next guest, and he has a dynamic program. And what I want to do is have him come and explain to us some of the common problems that exist in the community that a lot of his clients are suffering from, and a lot of stuff I'm hearing from my own clients. So I'd like to introduce you, Dr. Rodney Ellis. Dr. Ellis, nice for you to be here, sir.
Thank you.
Now, Dr. Ellis is the medical director of the Rosebud Physicians Weight Loss Program. And so what him and I had done recently, we got a chance to have a conversation. And Dr. Ellis, I mean, we talked about a lot of things, but there were two issues that really came up that you said was really, really concerned about you. And the first one was common with most men is erectile dysfunction.
Yes, in fact, I had you come, Greg, to our men's program because in men, especially obese men, they have problems with erectile dysfunction, oftentimes because their male hormone is level. The male hormone level is low. So in fact, I want to show in our first slide that there is a relationship between the brain and hypothalamus where hormones are produced and the testes. So that there's the penis and the testes are shown in our diagram, and the relationship is that the hypothalamus sends signals down to the testes to produce testosterone. Well, it turns out that in obese men, that testosterone is actually metabolized by the fat cells, and it sends a false signal back to the brain that there's enough testosterone, so the brain cuts off its production. So the key thing that I wanted to really have people understand that for male erectile function to work, you need three things to be working. You need to have that testosterone we just talked about. You need to have proper vascular supply to the penis. And you have to have the nerves that are working the blood vessels and working the sensory tissues down there intact. And therefore, there can be diseases that affect each and every one of those areas. And obesity is a big one. And this is why in my weight loss program, I have a lot of men interested in that issue. So if you actually go to the next slide that explains these things a little bit more, you'll see that in fact the normal sexual anatomy is shown, where there's the testis is a little bit bigger than it actually normally is, but it's emphasizing that the testis is very important in the sexual function. In a normal erection, in fact, the penis gets blood supply from the release of something called nitric oxide, And when that's, that has to be stimulated by the testosterone, and if that's not an adequate supply, we have problems. If the circulation is not adequate, such as it is with cigarette smoking, hypertension, diabetes, high cholesterol, those things too will affect the blood vessels and affect the ability to have an erection. And then finally, the nerves can be affected by diabetes, for example, or spinal cord injury or something like that. So to briefly say what occurs in the obese patient, we make sure that their testosterone levels are good. If they're obese, we want them to lose weight so they can get rid of any kind of diabetes or high cholesterol problem that they might have. And then we actually can possibly give them additional testosterone if their testosterone level is low, or we can give them some of the new drugs that we see always advertised on TV, the Cialis, the Testim, all those different drugs that are oftentimes advertised on TV.
And that's my concern, is that having someone like you on here, you could come on our show and you could give us some realistic solutions versus the traditional, everybody goes to the doctor and you take a pill because we know pills have side effects.
Right. So the natural way, obviously, is to make sure that your health is good, that you're not smoking, that your blood pressure is normalized, that your cholesterol is normal, your circulation is good, and those things are the best and natural way to do this.
Well, see, now having Dr. Ellis on the show gives us an insight on the medical side and the science side of how our body works, which many of us take for granted. And usually we wait till it's too late to where we get to pre-diabetic or we get to diabetic status. So what we want to do in this show is give you some things to think about that you can do right now at home to evaluate and examine what you're doing with the cigarettes and the food, things like that. Now, Dr. Ellis will be back in future shows as well, and what we want to do with him is hear from you about some questions you may have, so then he will come back on the show in the future, and we'll be able to fill those questions for you. But Dr. Ellis, once again, I really appreciate it, sir.
It's my
It means
pleasure.
a lot to me.
Okay.
And I'm sure what you just offered our fans and the viewers out there is going to be very beneficial, and people can apply immediately, and that's what we're asking you to do. So we want to thank you, Dr. Ellis, and we'll be back.
Hart, what's going on?
I'm leaving.
Why? What did I do?
Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit.
Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just please, don't leave.
Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Up, college is hard. Down, those books are heavy.
My sport is football, but my passion is education. So every year I take promising high schoolers on a college tour to show them that higher education means a brighter future.
My name is Nnamdi Asamoah. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it. You can be a reader, tutor, or mentor too. Take the pledge at liveunited.org/volunteer.
Do you wear this?
It's harder whenever there's a bigger group. Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
I want to thank everybody that was on the show today. It was truly educational. It made me laugh. I learned something that even as an expert, that I got some information that I can take home and give it to my friends or give it to my clients. That's the purpose of this show. And remember, if you want to find out more about this show or somebody who appeared or some of the information that was provided, go to our website, foodforfuel.org, leave us a message. I promise you, we will get back with you. Like I said, I'm glad you came and listened to the show, listened to our guests. Remember, I'm Greg Raleigh for It's Your Turn, Food for Fuel. Good luck and take back your health.